Subnautica, a horror survival game that really tests your thalassophobia or fear of the ocean, which I definitely have the fear of. The game was released back in December 16th of 2014, making today its 10-year anniversary, and recently they have announced its sequel, Subnautica 2, that plans to be multiplayer, and to celebrate both the anniversary and the next game, I decided to get all the achievements in the first game. The game begins with our spaceship, the Aurora, crashing on an alien planet, and luckily our protagonist survived the crash on a life pod. Now, being alone and stranded on a planet, it is our goal to survive, explore to find any survivors, figure out why we crashed, and finally escape off the planet. So there are a total of 17 achievements in the game, with the first one being pretty simple to obtain. That being just jumping into the water, going straight into the water, and getting that first achievement. Not that complicated, right? Well, now the other achievements just get harder to get. So I spent most of the time trying to gather up materials and really get my sense of the game. Explored around the area nearby and even died once already. Okay. Shit. The next achievement I was working on was building a habitat, which honestly is simple, just need to make the habitat builder tool. I explored some crash sites and found some life pods to get more crafting recipes. And man, I really wanted to make everything. The next achievement was to build a Seamoth, so I had to explore more away from my comfort zone. And hell, I almost went too far, seeing a huge drop that made me very nervous. Oh no, we're going way too deep. After a few more crash sites, I found the parts to make a Seamoth, the vehicle bay to create the Seamoth, and some additional rooms for my underwater house, and even a laser cutter. With the Seamoth now built, I gained another achievement and explored further and deeper into another life pod. The next goal was to build a prawn suit. I thought I found it earlier, but it was only the torpedo arm for the prawn suit. Oh, that's just the arm? Oh my god. We also went to an island but didn't explore much of it. What I didn't know at the time was that the prawn suit was inside the crushed Aurora ship that I had to go explore to find the parts. I would continue with just gathering supplies and making gear, and went to other life pods to find more gear to craft. I started going to the deep end of the ocean, and I was actually starting to get nervous. This is new, okay. But I do not like what I see here. I made the dumb mistake and died of drowning. Oh, I'm fucked. Shit! And having to go back with just the sea glider and seeing how dark and deep the water was just made my fear more intense. Oh, this is really nerve-wracking now. I don't feel safe. Like, if you look, I don't want to look down. We also got some coordinates for a drop-off as we found the alien structure and got another achievement for entering the building and getting the infection. And our safe way home was also destroyed. How convenient. We then returned back to the base and went off back to the islands to find the multi-purpose room as I wanted to build up my base. I ended up getting the observatory room as well and another achievement for exploring the rendezvous point island. We headed back and it was time to enter the Aurora to get the prawn suit, but what I didn't realize at the time was that I needed a propulsion cannon, so I left to go find the pieces, which didn't take me too long to find. And once I built the propulsion cannon, I returned to the Aurora and began exploring it, gathering all the loot I can find from the spaceship, getting the blueprints for the landing bay, for the building of our future spaceship out of this planet. We spent a lot of time gathering supplies, but what I really needed was magnetite. I thought I could find it near the alien structure, but I was wrong and only found a Leviathan, which was pretty scary, but I was lucky enough that he did not know where I was. But what I did find was a destroyed Cyclops, getting some blueprints to build up my own. I would explore more until I eventually did find a purple jellyfish biome, and finally got me some magnetite. I grabbed enough of what I needed. I was able to finally upgrade the depth level of my Seamoth to Mark II. Oh my god. We can just make up to Module 3. And was lucky enough to already have the stuff for Mark III. And I soon planned to return to the jelly biome as I had a signal leading deeper into the biome. I went back home and did some remodeling with my underwater base and organized my stuff better. I quickly headed back to the jellyfish biome to explore it, and I soon got another achievement of exploring the habitat that was in the biome. Returning home, I wanted to craft a prawn suit, but I needed aerogel, and to craft aerogel I needed some gel sacks, so I went back to LifePod 19 to go into the deeper cave system nearby to grab some, and quickly headed back to craft the prawn suit, giving me another achievement. I crafted a grapple arm and some other upgrades to the prawn suit, and I tried to go in the deep cave system to find more nickel ore to craft more upgrades. But what I was met with were the scary monsters like the big-headed spider and the ghost leviathan that were way too close to me. I didn't find any nickel and was honestly way underprepared for this long mission, so I just returned home. Once I returned home, I actually gathered supplies for this long journey, bringing enough water so I wouldn't have to worry, and returned to find more nickel ores. And oh my god, I literally spent like over an hour just to find 5 nickel ores. Finally the last one I fucking need. Get me out of here, please. And once I got them, I went home and built some more upgrades for my prawn suit. Going back into the deeper cave, I ended up finding the lava lakes and kyanite. And the Yellowstone, which name is far too long for me to try to pronounce it. I grabbed as many as I could to craft the upgrades that I needed, and I finally explored that alien base and got the 8th achievement, finding the disease research facility. And even my disease began to progress further. When returning home, I upgraded the prawn suit to its fullest and built another part of the spaceship, but now with how things are, I would need to begin planning on how I would want to progress into the game, as my next goal was to find the blueprints for the Cyclops. I would focus on finding the pieces of the Cyclops part, which wouldn't take me long, but the Leviathan was scaring the crap out of me as he was defending the parts that I needed to scan. Oh fuck. I then gathered materials to craft the Cyclops, and yes, I renamed everything with cat at the start of it. Crafting the Cyclops and getting another achievement into my collection. Yes! 40-foot sub for 1! Then I would craft all the upgrades I could for the Cyclops. Looking over the leftover achievements I had left, the next one I wanted to get was hatching a cuttlefish egg, which I had to find first. I went exploring, and luckily for me, I did stumble across a cuttlefish egg that wasn't too far from my base, that was in a cave system. I then went exploring deeper into the caves as I needed to find one more habitat in the deep Grand Reef biome, which was annoying mainly because of the warper and the crab squid. In this habitat, I found the last upgrade I needed for my Cyclops to have all the upgrades. Found an orange tablet and another cuttlefish. Nearby, I found an opening to an alien facility and used the orange tablet to find another cuttlefish. Like dang, now I got 3 best friends. I would gather the materials for the upgrades for the Cyclops. Looking back at the achievements, I did forget one. I had been to the Aurora before, but now I had to return to fix the reactor, which I did, and it took away most of the radiation. I prepped for the final push of getting the last achievements that I needed. I grabbed as much food and water as I could bring. I traveled down to the deep lava cave to find the thermal research facility, which I got spooked by as 2 sea dragons shot fireballs at me before I was able to enter the building. No, it just shot fireballs at me! The crazy thing is that there's 2 of them. Oh fuck no. Get me inside, that's where I need to go. Once arriving and exploring the area, I attained another achievement, and then I began traveling much deeper into the cave to find the primary containment facility, which was being guarded by a sea dragon, but I managed to make it in safely, until I realized I needed another blue tablet, so I had to go all the way back to my base to make another one to travel all the way back here. After that, I met the Sea Emperor Leviathan, and she was pretty nice, but before I could cure myself, she gave me a test to hatch her eggs, so I had to travel across the map to collect the seeds that I needed to craft the enzyme to hatch her eggs. I am back with this fucking enzyme that she wanted. Once going on a massive hunt for these items and hatching her eggs, that's when I would see the baby Sea Emperors with their mother, and it was kind of nice and sad to see as the Sea Emperor was finally put to rest as she was ready to forever fall asleep. I then cured myself and only had 2 achievements left. I quickly gathered up the stuff I needed to build the Neptune, and once I built the cockpit, I finally climbed up, starting up the spaceship, filled the time capsule, and flew off to the planet getting the last 2 achievements that I needed, and 100% completed Subnautica. You know, after that whole journey on the game, from being terrified and hating all the animals in the ocean, I still do hate them in real life. This game was very terrifying with the deep oceans, big ass sea monsters, and just the creepiness and horror that is built into the game, which makes it such a masterpiece of a survival horror game. In the end, with the Sea Emperors and hatching her eggs, that really did a 180 on the game, as it was a very nice and wholesome moment that even made me almost shed a tear. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video and the journey that we took into this game. And if y'all did like it, leave a like and consider subscribing, as I appreciate all the support. Maybe we can do this for below 0 sometime in the future. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Also, I didn't play this on my PS5 but on my PC, so I may not have gotten the platinum. Sorry.